Hi Audi Buddies, Hassan here from Audi Exam Buddy, and in today's video we are going to dive into accountable institutions. So let's go. The agenda or structure of today's video: what is an accountable institution? We'll then continue with who qualifies as an accountable institution, the purpose of accountable institutions, the main obligations of these institutions, when to apply the duties, and lastly we'll end off with the consequences of non-compliance. What is an accountable institution? An accountable institution is a business or person that performs activities which make it vulnerable to money laundering or terrorist financing. These institutions have legal duties under the FIC Act, which is Act 38 of 2001, to help detect and prevent money laundering and terrorist financing. They must identify clients, monitor transactions, and report suspicious activity to the Financial Intelligence Center, or FIC for short. Who qualifies as an accountable institution? Schedule 1 of the FIC Act lists them. In the RE5 exam, you're expected to recognize examples, not memorize the entire schedule. Here are some common relevant to financial advice and FSPs. Banks, these are registered under the Banks Act. Then you have FSPs, which are authorized under the phase. So these include financial advisors, investment managers, etc. Then you have attorneys, which are practicing attorneys, trust accounts, estate agents, which are registered under the Estate Agency Affairs Act, auditors and accountants when performing financial transactions for clients. Then you also have long-term insurers. These are life policies with investment values. And then you have your collective investment scheme managers. These include the CIS managers and administrators. Dealers in high value goods, so for example, jewelry, precious metals, motor dealers, etc. And lastly, money remitters. So these would be your forex bureaus and your payment providers, etc. What is the purpose of accountable institutions? Their purpose is to combat money laundering using legal financial channels to hide illegal funds. They also combat terrorist financing. And lastly, they promote transparency and integrity in the financial system. The main obligations: every accountable institution must have a risk management and compliance program and meet the 5 key duties. Client identification: this is knowing your client, is establishing a relationship, verifying their identity, address, etc. Then you have risk rating, assessing each client's money laundering and terrorist financing risk. Record keeping, keeping the ID transaction records for at least 5 years after the relationship ends. Reporting duties, submitting reports to the FIC within the deadlines. And then lastly, training. Staff must be trained to detect suspicious transactions. When to apply these duties: before entering into a relationship, for example, at onboarding a client, during the ongoing business, so you need to monitor for suspicious activity, and then at termination to ensure that there is retention of all records. Lastly, the consequences of non-compliance. So these would be administrative sanctions from the FIC or the FSCA, criminal charges if there is a serious breach, and then lastly, penalties can include fines, imprisonment, or loss of FSP license.